What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the shop, and today we're going to get started on the T56 mid-shift conversion for the C10 Charlotte. Now, I've been reading up on this thing for a long time, and I've also been dreaming about this for a while, so I think I'm ready, but to be completely honest, all of the information is coming from the internet forums, because the information that they give you is pretty, I would say, dry, and they seem to obviously want you to take it to a transmission builder to have it done, which I get. So I got the part that we need, which is this, it's from McLeod, or McLeod, I don't know how you say it, but it is this little shifter socket that they manufacture. And it used to be that Kiesler had a whole kit, and it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. There doesn't seem to be a lot of info on it anymore. I think they were maybe having a lot of issues with people installing them or trying to install them or ruin their transmissions. I'm not completely sure. But what I do know is we got the shifter socket, and we have not ordered a new shifter base plate yet because I wanted to get it in the truck and measure. That's what they suggested on their website. I'll be getting the base from Core Shifters. So that's the place that is kind of the go-to now for the actual shifter. And then you need the McLeod, whatever. Part number is 82-1001. Is probably backwards for you, but 82-1001. I got it off of Summit for like $240. They're kind of pricey. But everything to do with these little guys is kind of pricey. It's not a budget item to do if you want a 6-speed in your stuff. I was gonna say, you know, shit, but then I didn't. So I'm gonna flip you around here. I'm gonna show you the couple of forums that I've been looking at to give these people credit, and also I'll throw the link in the bottom of anything to do with like this T56 relocation, because I'm getting all my information from them, and I think it's only fair. This is not me coming up with this at all. There's people that were smarter, you know, more capable ahead of me that came up with some good ideas, so that's what we're doing. So I actually have my little tuning laptop up here, and I cleaned off this table so we can get some work done. Like I said, I'll link these. Like, you don't actually have to check it out, but these are pretty detailed, and this person actually did not completely disassemble the transmission, and I think that's what we're gonna end up doing because it just seems easier. There's another person here who we are actually referencing a lot of things off their build for this truck because he just did such a nice job. Username TR65. This is on the 67 to 72 Chevy truck forum. He has a bunch of different really nice write-ups. He seems to be pretty respected by everybody in here, and I can see why. These are not new either. This is 2012, so I mean, this dude did this a long time ago. It's 2020 now, so we'll be referencing his material. He actually completely disassembled his transmission, but he also did a cool hydraulic clutch conversion on a budget, which makes it even cooler because I like that. And I actually ordered the parts that he suggested, and I'm going to follow his guidelines. So that way we can use the factory looking pedal, kind of make it all look cool like that, but then it still has like a nice Willwood proportioning, or master cylinder, sorry. So thanks to him, and thanks for putting all that information out. I'm going to be learning a lot about these things, and hopefully you guys will be too with me. I'm not coming from a place of any knowledge on these transmissions, so it's kind of a humbling experience, but as well as like an exciting experience because I like to learn, I like to challenge myself, and this is the way I do it. Why not bring you guys along for the ride? So first, I'm just going to start popping some stuff off this thing and take a look and see what the deal is. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're kind of going on a little field trip to my mom and stepdad's machine shop, which is just up the road here, not too far. So I have this shaft here, and just the outside of it is hardened, but it is still kind of a bitch to drill through, and just so happens we have a machine shop access. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing up there, use the bridge port, and put a nice little hole for the roll pin. That way we can get back, throw this trans together. Yeah, I see that mountain right there. Looks like kind of a top of a hat or something. So a little cool history lesson on the way out to the shop. That is called Picacho Peak. It is actually the westernmost point of the United States for the Revolutionary War. So you can look it up for more details, because I don't remember. I don't even remember who told me that or where I learned it. Probably school or something, but it's stuck in here. So we got the shift rod drilled, thanks to Bill. I didn't want to video him because I think he's not ready for his stardom yet. What I thought would be cool is to show you guys my little yard of shitty cars that he lets me park here. So if you guys remember, or if you haven't seen the video, this is Edna, my two-door box top, even though we just sold the other one. This is the one I was saying that we have for a later date, a build. And I actually have a lot of parts and an engine and all that kind of stuff for this thing. It's just as time goes on, right? We just need the timing to fit. It's a pretty cool car, especially since we got it for free. Free is always good. Oh, it's open, sick. So it's 4-cylinder, or it's a four, yeah, it's a 4-banger and a 4-speed, so it's kind of cool. And then over here, this was actually sold. This is my friend John Kim's now, but I've had that for a while. Here's my trailer that needs a new ramp. And then here's the Buick, if you guys remember it. If you remember the Buick, comment below. You're an OG. This thing is full of all kinds of junk, like its own parts, and then just random engine stuff. Finnegan actually put this on, so that's kind of cool. She's just a clapped out old Buick, but it's got some good suspension parts on it. These are some 275, some welds. It has a 12 bolt in it. It used to have a turbo LS of many different types. My hood springs came off, so it makes it kind of hard to open up the hood there. We still have all the stuff in it. It's got LS swap motor mounts in it from, I think, UPR or some shit. I can't remember. Did the batteries in the back. Had to pull this fender out at some point for some reason. There's fuel lines still sitting there ready to go. Even still has an intercooler and transcooler. So I think we'll have to play with this at some point in time. I have all the stuff from the Fairmont that could go in it, like the Holly with the digital dash. I have an S488. I have an L33. We can do this at some point. Maybe even later this year or something, 2021, I don't know. But I do miss it. I love that car. Enough of that stuff. Let's hop back in the car, get over to the shop, and get our shaft and shifter conversion finished up. As you guys could see, we were drilling the hole for this. This shaft is hardened, surface hardened, so I wasn't able to do it at my shop. And what we ended up doing is actually just grinding the surface hardening off a little bit, and then put it in the Bridgeport. You could see drilled our hole, so we should be good to go. We can throw the roll pin in and then get the other side of the shift rod connected up. Back in the shop here, and we have the little joint, or whatever you want to call this, fitting in here just with a drill bit quick. You can see one thing that I'm just being fully transparent with you. I'm still gonna use this and send it, but I cut this at a bit of an angle, unfortunately, and it exposed part of the hole, which is also going to kind of cut down the amount of meat that is there throughout the point of like where the roll pin goes through the shaft. That's not ideal. but like I said, I'm gonna send it. So I know you guys might comment and be like, hey, that's not good. Well, that's what we're doing. So don't cook it crooked if you guys are gonna do this. Cut it straight. I just had the cutoff wheel and I was hitting the side of the case, and I guess I must have just went down steadily. So an important thing to note is the back side here, you see this hole and then you'll see this tab. The hole houses this spring and this ball. The spring and ball need to go in, spring first, then ball. And the spring and ball actually get guided on the plate here. You can see the circles, and then this is for the nubby deal. So that's actually what's doing your shift selection, and that's like your little gear pattern deal. I've yet to figure out exactly how I'm gonna get this in together or separate or how that's gonna work. So I'm just gonna kind of fumble my way through that, and I'll let you know which ways I found best. Sweet, so we got it in. I ended up closing the garage door because we're getting some terrible lighting in here. So this other half of the shift rod hasn't been put in yet, but what I ended up doing that might help you out is this spring and ball going against each other was MFer to get back in. So since this shift plate was out, I pushed them against each other and I actually just put it in sideways like a sandwich and then set it in. And once I got it set in, I put this roll pin in and then I Loctited the bolts and got the bolts in. The one thing that is gonna kind of suck is to get this one tight. This setup doesn't work. I need like a long Torx, which they do have them. I just don't have one. So like a longer one should be able to fit that. So we can torque these two Torx heads. And now I'll just put the second half of the shifter rod back in and put the roll pin in, and we can reassemble the rest of the trans, which isn't a big deal. So like I was talking about just now, we went ahead and got these long wrenches so we can get in here, which works out fantastic in case you're wondering. Another thing you can do to actually get some torque on it is use a nice combo wrench. This is a 5/8, and just give it a little bit of a torque factor. I already kind of hit it, so that's why I didn't move much. But this is a beefier style wrench too. You don't want to do this with any type of wimpy thing because obviously it'll probably snap it. This is not what it's designed to do, but it does work for our application. So we have both of those Torx bolts on the shifter pattern deal. I don't know what you shifter plate is, I guess what you'd call it. That thing's torqued up. We have the ball and the spring in, and we have the lower roll pin in. So now we're gonna go ahead and raise this up, put this upper roll pin in. So I noticed when I took this tail shaft housing off that this is not a gasket, like meaning it's not a one-piece gasket. This is some type of like former gasket. You can see there I just scratched it with my nail. And what I come to find out is that this is what we need through asking my friend Ray at Merle's. Thanks, man. He looked up what was proper. Now they call for like a Loctite or Permatex is the equivalent 51813. It fills holes basically. I mean, is the easiest way to say it, you know, fills gaps and it forms its own gasket. Now this is important because there is a gasket for Corvettes for the mid or for the tail shaft housing. And I don't believe that's correct. I am by no means an expert. I've said that multiple times probably in this video by now. But I just wanted you to know that this is the route I'm going. This is what I found through my experience, and I think that this is the proper thing to do. So we'll clean up this flange, and then you know, once I'm done doing the rest of this, we'll have the proper gasket maker.
As you could tell, that was probably a bit much on the gasket maker. So if you're watching this and doing the same thing, probably do a bit less. That's Miles. Hey, buddy. Do a bit less and it'll probably be more than capable of filling the void. So I'm still waiting on, I gotta order a shifter for this thing up in this inspection port cover, but we got everything pretty much lined out on this. Just need to make a little plate to cover this guy up and then order that shifter down there. I think I should be able to do that soon, but I want to get it in the truck first because they have different fulcrum sizes, so you can actually get like the right throw and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. On their website they show you all kinds of dimensions and how to measure for it, so it makes it kind of nice. This is kind of one of those interesting, more techie related, not super busy episodes, but this is how things start sometimes, and I did want to bring you guys along for it because I think it's important. And I'm hoping that people, if there is anybody doing this swap or was curious about how this works, they can see that it is somewhat involved, but it is doable, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and do it even better if you are doing it yourself. So I know we had talked about some stickers, and my buddy James went ahead and drew these up. I like it. It means a lot to me because I'm all about just building stuff that you can drive and driving the shit out of them and enjoying it and being a hot rodder all around. To me, that's like the pinnacle. So that's something I thought was kind of cool. We're going to alter it a little bit for the actual run. These were some samples that we had, and that's what I was giving away the other day. And I have one left. So the person who just, I don't know, makes me laugh the hardest, this is totally biased, you're going to get this sticker. When I do stuff like this, I'm going to reply to you if you win, but you got to email me your address. Otherwise, I can't send you stuff. So be on the lookout for these, those, any other ideas you guys have. We're going to look into doing some shirts. This is all kind of new to me. I never really thought about doing this stuff from the get-go. It was all about other stuff. But I think this is pretty rad, and I think we can always put a little bit of my twist on all these kinds of things, make it fun for everyone, and make it a little bit different, just like I like to. So as for me, that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys have a badass weekend. Get out there and wrench. Definitely love on somebody, and we'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace. Can I show him the transmission, please? Yeah. Yeah. Walk away.